On Tuesday, December 20th, 1988, around 9:30 a.m., 19-year-old Tara Lee Calico left her home on Berg Street, New Mexico, to go on her daily bike ride along New Mexico State Road 47. Before her ride, Tara put on a white t-shirt with the local bank's logo on it, First National Bank of Blend Size Medium, white shorts with green stripes, and white and turquoise Avia sneakers. She was also wearing a gold butterfly ring with a diamond insert, a gold amethyst ring, and half-inch gold hoop earrings. She also grabbed her bright yellow Walkman with a Boston cassette tape. Tara rode that route almost every morning on her neon pink bike. She was also sometimes accompanied by her mother, Patty Doyle. But Patty stopped riding with her after she felt that she was being stalked by a motorist. She had advised her daughter to think about carrying mace, but Tara rejected the idea. On Tuesday, Tara had told her mother to get her if she was not home by noon, as she had plans to play tennis with her boyfriend at 12:30. When Tara did not return, Patty went out looking for her along Tara's normal bike route, but she could not find her. She then contacted the police. Pieces of Tara's Sony Walkman and cassette tape were later discovered along the road. Patty suspected that Tara might have dropped them in an attempt to mark her trail. Several people saw Tara riding her bike, which was never found. Roland said bicycle tire tracks found on the soft sand shoulder might have been hers that day, but could also have been made by other bicyclists or on her other route trips along the road. He also said that there was quote-unquote zero physical evidence of her abduction. Pieces of a cassette tape and other items recovered by volunteer searchers near the road were analyzed and found to be too old or otherwise not belonging to Calico. He also said there was no crime scene. No one witnessed her alleged abduction, even though several witnesses observed a light-colored pickup truck, possibly a 1953 Ford, with a camper shell following closely behind her. But the witnesses who saw her last saw her headed north on New Mexico 47 on a bicycle that midday morning, including motorists, a group of deer hunters, ranch hands, and at least one neighbor. But none interviewed so far saw what happened to her. From those accounts, investigators summarized that she was abducted over 15 minutes over a 2-mile stretch of highway just before noon. There were no signs of a scuffle. Her pink Huffy bicycle and the items she carried while riding that day have never been found. A New Mexico State Police crash expert found it improbable to believe that she was accidentally or even intentionally hit by a car, given that the pieces of a vehicle or her bike would have been left behind, and the debris would have been difficult to clean up quickly. An accident would have also attracted attention from the various people who were outside that day, including several unidentified women who were playing golf on the west side of the road. The FBI and other investigators ruled out family and her known friends as suspects, including several men who dated or may have had a romantic interest in Tara, who also worked part-time at a local bank. The driver of the old truck, which had a homemade camper shell, hadn't been located, but an oil slick discovered where the truck was seen earlier along New Mexico 47 could have meant he had been having engine trouble and explained why he was driving behind Calico so slowly. Fast forward to June 15, 1989. A Polaroid photo of an unidentified young woman and a boy, both gagged with a block of duct tape and seemingly bound, was discovered in the parking lot of a convenience store in Port St. Joe, Florida. The woman who found the Polaroid said that it was in a parking space where a white windowless Toyota cargo van had been parked when she arrived at the store. She said that the van was being driven by a man with a mustache who appeared to be in his late 30s. Police set up roadblocks to intercept the vehicle, but the man was never identified. According to Polaroid officials, the picture had to have been taken after May 1989 because the particular film used in the photograph was not available until then. The photo was broadcast on A Current Affair in July, and Patty was contacted by friends who had seen the show and thought the woman resembled Tara. Relatives of Michael Henley of New Mexico, who had disappeared in April 1988, saw the episode and said that they believed he was the boy in the photo. Both parents met with investigators and examined the Polaroid. Patty said that she was quote-unquote convinced it was Tara. She also noted that a scar on the woman's leg was identical to the one that Tara had received in a car accident. Also, a paperback copy of V.C. Andrews' My Sweet Audrina, said to be one of Tara's favorite books, can be seen lying next to the woman. Scotland Yard analyzed the photo and concluded that the woman was in fact Tara, but a second analyst by the Los Alamos National Library, LANL, disagreed. A forensic scientist at LANL said that the woman is, quote, definitely not Tara, end quote. An FBI analysis of the photo was inconclusive. Hanley's mother said that she was, quote unquote, almost certain it was Michael in the Polaroid. The identification of the boy in the photo as Hanley is considered unlikely. His remains were discovered in June 1990 in the Zuni Mountains, which was about 7 miles from his family's campsite, which he had disappeared from, and 75 miles from where Tara disappeared. Police believe that Henley wandered off and died of exposure. Over the years, 2 other Polaroid photographs, possibly of Tara, had surfaced. One from July 19th, 1989. The first was found near a construction site in Montecito, California. The photo is a blurry photo of a girl's face with tape covering her mouth and light blue fabric behind her. Quote, similar to that on the pillow in the Toyota van photo, end quote. The photo was taken on a film that was not available until June 1989. The second photo shows, quote, a woman loosely bound in gauze, her eyes covered with more gauze, and large black framed glasses, end quote, with a male passenger beside her on an Amtrak train. The film that was used was not available until February 1990. Tara's mother believed that the first photo was of Tara, but thought the second may have been a hoax. Tara's sister stated, quote, they had a striking, uncommon resemblance. As for me, I will not rule them out. But keep in mind, our family has had to identify many other photographs, and all but those 3 were ruled out, end quote. The Doe Network maintained a case file on all 3 Polaroids, which was closed for unknown reasons. In late August 1993, Tara's family received a tip from a quote-unquote sincere and concerned woman who had heard the sound of digging the day after Tara's disappearance at a site of 7 miles south of Blund. Authorities subsequently conducted excavations at the site using backhoes. In 1998, Tara was declared officially dead. A judge ruled her death a homicide. On November 2nd, 2002, Tara's father, David J. Calico, was beaten and mugged by 2 men in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He sadly died as a result. On May 11, 2006, her mother, Patty Doyle, died in Port Charlotte, Florida, from health complications after a series of strokes. In 2008, Rene Rivera, the sheriff of Valencia County, reported that he received information that 2 teenagers had accidentally hit Tara with a truck, panicked, and killed her. According to Rivera, the boys who knew Tara drove up behind her in a truck, and some form of an accident followed. Tara later died, and those responsible covered up the crime. Rivera states that he knew the names of those involved, but that, without a body, he could not make a case. He did not release the evidence that led him to this conclusion. John Doyle, Tara's stepfather, said that the sheriff should not have made these comments if he was not willing to arrest anyone, and that strong circumstantial evidence should be enough for a conviction. 20 years later, in 2009, after the Polaroid photo was found and shared by the media, pictures of a boy were sent to the Port St. Joe police chief, David Barnes. He received 2 letters, the first being postmarked June 10th and the second being postmarked August 10th, 2009, both from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The first letter contained a photo printed on copy paper of a young boy with sandy brown hair. Someone had drawn a black band in ink on the photo over the boy's mouth as if it were covered in tape, as in the 1989 picture. The second letter contained an original image of the boy. On August 12th, the Star newspaper in Port St. Joe received a third letter, also postmarked in Albuquerque on August 10th, and depicting the same image of a boy with black marker drawn over his mouth. The boy had not been confirmed to be the same one as in the previous photo. None of the letters contain a return address or a note indicating the child's identity, making the officials believe it may have something to do with the disappearance of Tara. The letters were sent at the same time that a self-proclaimed psychic had called about Tara, stating she had met a runaway in California with whom she worked in a strip club. This girl was eventually murdered. The caller said she had dreams suggesting that the runaway may have been Tara and that she may have been buried in California. Searches did not lead to any discoveries. The photos were given to the FBI for further investigation in hope of finding fingerprints or possible DNA evidence. In October 2013, a 6-person task force was established to reinvestigate Tara's disappearance. As of 2017, no arrests have been made and the case remains open. On October 1st, 2019, the FBI announced that they are, quote, offering a reward up to $20,000 for precise details leading to the identification or location of Tara Lee Calico and information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for her disappearance, end quote. In September 2021, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office and the New Mexico State Police issued a statement that they have a new lead in the case, in that the focus was on a sealed warrant for an unknown private residence located within the Valencia County has been issued. However, no further details were provided. On June 13, 2023, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office announced a breakthrough in the 1988 disappearance. Sheriff Denise Vigil and other law enforcement officers spoke at a press conference regarding Tara's case. Quote, at this time, law enforcement believes there is significant evidence to submit this investigation to the district attorney's office for review of potential charges, end quote. Quote, currently the identities and specifics of the persons of interest are sealed by the court and will remain so until court order otherwise, end quote. The latest theory is that a group of locals, perhaps as young as Tara, abducted her as she was returning from her near-daily 38-mile bike ride to her home in Rio communities. For a prosecution to be viable now, only a charge of first-degree murder and certain sex offenses can be filed because the statute of limitations has run out on all the lesser offenses. The breakthrough came in October 2020 after Roland's team received the results of a 2-year analysis of the criminal case from the nonprofit Rocky Mountain Information Network, which recommended pursuing half a dozen loose ends. The follow-up spurred the team that included 2 FBI polygraphers to travel out of state to conduct interviews. Quote, we went in a different direction, never thoroughly explored, end quote. Quote, we were unraveling a thread, end quote. The information gathered helped provide the evidence to convict a state district judge 6 months later to approve a search warrant. While it was found in April 2021, search of a Valencia County residence along with all other documents related to the new suspects were sealed by the state district judge Cindy Mercer. In a journal interview, Roland couldn't say where the team was in late 2020. But one of the recommendations from the Rocky Mountain Information Network was to re-interview someone who professed to knowing nothing about Tara's disappearance. It was a recommendation that was heavily redacted before the report was publicly released by the sheriff's officials, an indication that the person is now a credible suspect. When asked whether the prolonged review has hurt a potential prosecution, Roland pointed out that the DEA's office considers whether there's evidence beyond a reasonable doubt a higher standard than a probable case that allow law enforcement to send the case to Romo's office. He said, quote, but as time passes, we are losing more evidence than we are gaining, end quote. Several of those interviewed have already died, including a quote-unquote pivotal eyewitness who reported seeing 2 cars and 4 or 5 young Hispanic men and 1 woman, parked across the road from where Tara was located. Parked across the road from where Tara was headed on New Mexico 47. One man was described as tall, without a shirt, waving his arms. Others appeared to be hiding behind one of the cars. Roland said that the suspects likely knew who Tara was and seized the opportunity that day. After years of focusing on multiple eyewitnesses' accounts of an older man in a 1953-55 Ford truck slowly following Tara that late morning. What seems to be certain is that a confrontation ensued between Tara and that group of young adults. that day, quote, the result of which Tara Calico did not survive, end quote. After searching for Tara's body over the years in a pond, a lagoon, a rock quarry, and under concrete slabs on various properties in the area, investigators are now exploring one of the 4 mines leased in the 1950s by the family of David Parker Ray, which once owned a ranch nearby off US 60. The property is located about 25 miles south of where Tara was last seen. Ray died in state prison in 2002 while serving a sentence of more than 223 years in connection with kidnapping and other charges involving 2 women who said he sexually tortured them at his residence near Elephant Butte Lake. Over the years, numerous searches have been conducted based on suspicions that Ray may have killed several unidentified victims. According to the FBI, Ray claimed to have abducted about 40 victims from several states, but no bodies have been found. Ray isn't a suspect in Tara's disappearance, based in part on the belief that he was living in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. The FBI is offering a reward up to $20,000 for precise details leading to the identification or location of Tara Lee Calico, and information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for her disappearance.